healed for me anymore. And months went by, came to myself. They opened the camps because they were afraid to open the camps because of diseases. And I was free. I was getting my strength back. I wound up in Italy on a transport. And then, after finishing 8 months, I went to Paris, France. And then from France, I met my wife there. We got married. We came. It took me 5 years before I got here because I was born in Poland, had a quarter. I had to wait here. Came to stay here, no language, nothing, didn't make any difference how many languages I spoke. I still didn't know English. And still I'm doing the best I can now. But the problem is still, I have a problem with spelling. Who invented spelling? I'm doing the best. Do the best I can. But one thing, once in a while, it bugs me. And I'm really upset. When I hear that some teenager committed suicide. I remember a couple years ago, a family came from Ireland and a daughter. Somebody didn't like her for no reason. She couldn't take it, and she committed suicide. Think about it. I went through 5.5 years. Every night when I went to sleep, I said, please God, let me see the light the next morning. This is the worst thing you can do. As long as you're alive, you have hope. If somebody gives you a hard time, walk away, it's not your problem. Walk away. Not everything is perfect in life. But as long as you're alive, you have hope. Think those words. Stay in school, get educated, and you can be anybody you want. It's a proof of me. And how bad it's going to get in your life, think what I went through. Nothing is perfect. Not everybody's rich, not everybody's poor. That's life. Your parents had problems, their parents had problems. It's going to be the future. And when you get older, you're going to have problems too. I was married for 54 years. I'm happy I'm here today. And if those moments come in life, think but me. There's always hope. As long as you're alive, you have hope. Remember those words. I know what time is up. I thank you for listening, and God bless you.
I did want to save a couple of minutes for questions. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, right here.
Excuse me. What about your family?
The question here is, what about family?
Well,
Your family.
okay. I have some slides from my family. Now, before I show you the slides, my mother died after 6 months of my birth. I lost my mother when I was 6 months old. It's my mother and father. He took off, he remarried, he had children, and I didn't know him. I haven't. When I was 8 years old, I met my father the first time. Now, I was brought up with my grandparents. It's my grandma, my grandfather, my uncle was in the Polish army, and the little boy sitting over there, that's me. It's the only picture I ever had of me as a boy. Because my grandparents did one thing. They made sure that I get education. I attended public school, I attended religious school. Now this, I met my wife in Paris, France. But I want to say something. It took me years. 5.5 years. I met her at my niece's place, and I talked her into it. And I told her, you're going to stay in Europe, there's going to be another war in 20 years. Eventually we went out, we got married there. It's a wedding picture. The dress was borrowed, my suit was borrowed. We had too many families. And that's life. I lived through it 5.5 years, predestined. Predestined me to be in Paris with my wife. This is my family, my daughter here, my one daughter and her husband. I have now 3 grandchildren and in 7th grade. Why I'm bringing up this? As long as you're alive, have hope. Thank you. Listen, I'm not going to grade you, so don't worry about it. Ask any question.
She wants to know if you ever thought about removing your tattoo or why you didn't.
No, it doesn't bother me. You see, one thing I forgot to mention. I will never forget and never forgive. But I don't live with hate. We always in life say, how many people have ever said, I hate you? A lot of them. We did it. Or we just said it. We say it against your parents, against sister, friends. Don't live with hate. If you live with hate, you're going to destroy yourself. Don't do it. I don't live with it. It's there. What can I do? It's a good thing they didn't leave it in front of the head. But I don't live with it. If I live with this, I bring bad memory. Anybody else? All the way to bed. Yeah. No, I didn't look. It's splendid to see in America. I don't have good memories, so why not?
Give me nightmares or flashbacks.
I had in the beginning, yes. Now, no. Now, I'm glad I can sleep. And if I knew somebody. You saw the barracks where they lived in the bunk beds. People sleeping next to each other, right? It could be months. I know somebody. We even didn't make friends because if we could steal from each other, they will do it. Suddenly he dies. He died during the night or something. They took him away. It didn't look good. We made friends and then they disappeared.
But I don't know if you understood, if you heard before, his wife grew up in the same town that you grew up in as a boy, right?
Right.
And she survived as well. So they didn't know each other until they met after liberation. So they went from a small town and it took them to the big city to meet each other.
My father survived too, but I didn't know he survived. We were in the same camp because I was a mechanic. I was sleeping in a different block.
You had a question? He said, how did you get over here to America?
Well, after I signed up to go to America, I had to wait 5 years. They put us on a boat. We went up, put up put some hammocks in it. Then we dropped off some people in Canada. From Canada, we came to New York. I saw the French lady waving to me. Said, bonjour, monsieur.
If the bell rings, just hold tight. If the bell rings in the middle of the session, I want to get it, and then we'll dismiss together. Yeah. What happened to your hometown? Like what?
I found out now, I met some of them, some who came from Poland. The town where I was there, suddenly they canceled. I don't know, but the town was more woods in the town. It's a small town, but it's like Woodstock. They're coming over there. Everybody from Poland, if I mention the city, they know already what it is.
Well, the bell just rang. We have to let it go.
It's for us?
That's for, I gotta let him go. Listen, hey, I know, listen.
Wait.
Again, you heard the strong message, right? If there's life, there's hope. Okay? And there's no reason to live with hate. I think that's two great things to lead with. If you have lunch, or you want to stay